At the beginning of this course, I thought language was mainly about speaking and communicating words. I saw it as a basic tool for expressing ideas. However, my understanding has changed. I now see language as a social practice, not just communication. It is something we use to build relationships, share meaning, and interactions with others in different contexts. Language is not only spoken, but also written, visual, and multimodal. One moment that shifted my thinking was from the lecture where we discussed that language is where meaning is made. I wrote this phrase in my notes because it stood out to me. It made me realize that language is not just about words, but about how we use those words depending on the situation and the people we are communicating with. My understanding of the Australian curriculum has also developed. The curriculum explained language through three strands: language, literature, and literacy. This shows that language is not just about grammar, but also about understanding texts and creating meaning in different ways. One part that surprised me was how broad the definition of language is. It includes spoken, written, visual, and digital forms. I used to think language was mostly about speaking and writing, but now I understand it includes many forms of communication. In Learning Task 1.2, I worked with examples of different types of text, including visual and multimodal text. This helped me understand how language works in real life context, not just in traditional readings and writings. It showed me that students need to learn how to interpret and create meaning across different forms. For entry 2, my current belief is that language develops through a combination of both social interactions and thinking processes rather than one single theory. One theory that strongly influenced my thinking is the social interactionist theory, developed by Lee Vygotsky. This theory explains that children's learning language through interactions with others, such as adults and peers. A key idea I found compelling is scaffolding, where a more knowledgeable person supports a children's learning. I remember noting in Learning Task 2.2 that a little help from a friend helps children build language. This influenced my belief because it shows that communication and relationships are essential for language development and not just about individual ability. Another important theory is the cognitive developmental theory by Jean Piaget. This theory explains that language develops alongside thinking skills such as memory, attention, and problem solving. One idea that stood out to me was the children actively construct their understanding through exploring the world. This connects to my notes about learning through play and using senses. It influenced my belief by showing that language is not separate but linked to overall cognitive development. Because of these theories, I now believe that language develops best when children are actively engaged, supported socially, and given meaningful experiences. Language development can differ for students with English as an additional language in a few ways. Firstly, they may go through a silent period where they listen and observe before speaking. This is a normal and important stage of learning. Secondly, they often develop social language more quickly than academic language. This means they may be able to communicate with peers, but still need support with more complex vocabulary and school tasks. For topic 3, language diversity refers to the different ways language is used across cultures, communities, and individuals. This includes differences in language spoken, dialects, accents, and the way of communicating. Language is closely connected to culture, meaning that children's communication styles are shaped by their family experiences and cultural backgrounds. The course emphasizes that many children are bilingual or multilingual and may use more than one language across different contexts, such as at home and at school. It is also important to understand that mixing languages or code switching is a normal part of language development and not a sign of confusion. Additionally, maintaining a child's home language is important as it supports both their identity and overall learning. Culturally responsive pedagogy is a teaching approach that recognizes and values children's culture and linguistic backgrounds and uses these as a foundation of learning. It involves connecting teaching to students' lives experiences and builds on their funds of knowledge to support engagement and success. A moment from the case study that I connected with was when the teacher encouraged students to share their culture stories and experiences in the classroom. This stood out to me because it showed how students' identities were valued and included in learning, rather than ignored. It also created a more inclusive and engaging environment where students felt confident to participate. This connection had shaped my understanding of how teachers can support children who use English as an additional language. It highlights the importance of creating inclusive classrooms that value home languages and cultures, rather than expecting students to only know English. Strategies such as using visual supports, encouraging translanguaging, and providing opportunities for talk and interaction can support both language development and confidence. For topic 4, phonological awareness refers to the ability to recognize and work with the sounds of spoken language. This includes skills such as identifying syllables, rhymes, and sound patterns. It is an oral skill, meaning it does not involve written text. Phonological awareness develops across different levels. This includes syllables, onset, and rhymes, and phonemics, which are the smallest units of sound. Phonemic awareness is a more specific part of phonological awareness. It focuses only on working with individual sounds or phonemics in words. For example, the word cat can be broken in cat. This is different from phonics, which involves connecting sounds to letters. While phonological and phonemic awareness are about hearing sounds, phonics links those sounds to written language. Phonological awareness is important because it is a key foundation for reading and spelling. It helps students understand that words are made up of sounds, which supports decoding and writing. There are several key concepts within phonological awareness. Onset and rhymes refer to splitting a word into the beginning sound and the rest, for example, k, at, or ap. Syllables are the best beats in a word, such as table or happy. Rhymes refer to words that share the same ending sounds, such as cat, hat, and bat. Alliteration is when words start with the same sound, such as big blue ball. In terms of phonemic segmentation, the word train has 4 phonemics: t, a, n. The word ship has 3 phonemes: sh, it, p. The word bottle has 4 phonemes: b, o, t, l. as the double T represents one sound. Overall phonological awareness is essential because it supports the development of reading, spelling, and overall language skills. Entry 5. It is important to understand the difference between phonological awareness, phoneme awareness, and phonics, as they are closely related but not the same. Phonological awareness is the broadest concept. It refers to the ability to hear and work within sounds in spoken languages, such as recognizing rhymes, syllables, and patterns in words. Phoneme awareness is more specific. It focuses on the ability to hear, identify, and manipulate individual sounds or phonemes in words. For example, breaking the word cat into cat. Phonics, however, is learning how sounds, phonemes, match with letters, graphemes. It helps us read and spell words. There are several important phonics-related terms. A short vowel is a quick sound, such as A in the A in cat, while a long vowel says its name, like the word rain with the sound ain. A consonant cluster is when two or more consonants appear together, like in train, where each sound is heard. A digraph is where two letters make one sound, such as the sh in ship or the ain in rain. A diphthong is a vowel sound that glides or changes, like oi in coin. Phonics can be taught in different ways. One effective method is sound boxes, where students break words into individual sounds. This supports segmenting, which is important for spelling. Another strategy is word sorting, where students group words by patterns such as sh, k, helping them recognize spelling rules. A third approach is multisensory learning, such as using Play-Doh to form letters, which engages visual and hands-on learning. These methods are effective because they provide explicit instructions, giving students repeated exposure and support different learning styles. This helps build strong reading and spelling skills. Entry 6. Knowing a word involves more than just recognizing it. It includes understanding the word's meaning, form, and use across different contexts, as well as its tone. Topic 6 content outlines 4 levels of word knowledge. Unknown, where the word is not recognized. Knowledge that the word exists, where it is familiar but not understood. Partial knowledge, where there is a general idea of the meaning. And complete knowledge, where the word can be accurately defined and used flexibly. An example of a word I have complete knowledge of is analyze. This is a two-tier academic word, meaning it is used across multiple subject areas. I understand its meaning as examining something in detail and can apply it in different contexts, such as analyzing a text or data. I also understand its linguistic role as a verb. I can use related forms such as analyze and analytical. This demonstrates both receptive vocabulary, where I can recognize and understand the word, and expressive vocabulary, where I can use it effectively in speaking and writing. When selecting words for explicit vocabulary instructions, teachers must be intentional. One key factor is frequency, particularly focusing on Tier 2 words that are useful across contexts. Teachers should also consider theological importance, selecting words that support understanding of key ideas as well as relevance to students' experiences. Words should be challenging but teachable and allows for multiple exposures in different contexts, which supports deeper vocabulary development. In my sentence, the curious students complete the difficult task quickly because she was motivated. We can identify key features. Students and tasks are nouns. Completed and was are verbs. Curious and different are adjectives. The cause, because she was motivated. It is a dependent cause, as it cannot stand alone, while the first part is an independent cause. Thank you.